What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ here, back again with another classic shows review. Today's video is about Everybody Hates Chris. Funny show. This is just funny, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's some certain things in the show makes me wonder. I mean, the whole the hometown is Brooklyn, and it's basically you got a family living. It kind of shows you what the life of living in that type of environment. But you got Chris. He's like he's like the main character. Well, I mean his family is the main character, but he's like the main character. He works. Well, he did work. He worked at Doc's store. Then but he always unlucky. I mean every single thing that happens to him is always unlucky. You know what I'm saying? Then you got his father Julius, which he's cheap. He is really cheap. He'd be like, I give you $5. Go to the store and get me some of this stuff, and then he comes back telling my where my change at. You know what I'm saying? It's like he always be saying like he be like say like you spill milk on to be talking about that's 119 worth of milk, worth of spilled milk, you know what I'm saying, something like that, you know what I'm saying. And then his mother Rochelle, whoa, all types of threats, you know what I'm saying. Be like to the point I'm gonna kick you into next week. I'm gonna slap you out of this world, all that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying. Cause one episode she he started acting like a bad boy in front of Tanya, and then at the end, his mom was like, Chris. He was like, what? And then she was like, and then he like, and he was in the hospital with her shoe was shoved in his butt. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then you got Tanya. I mean, well, first we got Drew, which is his younger brother, but for some reason he's more. I mean, he's the younger brother, but like what I'm saying, he's popular with everybody, like with the ladies and all that type of stuff. It's crazy, it's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying. Got your younger brother, you're older than him, and he's like freaking popular and stuff, and you're like a nerd and all that type of stuff. Then you got Tanya. She always that young sister, always smart mouthing. She always smart mouthing people. She's manipulative. Cause like for example, say like he's babysitting her, but Chris gotta go somewhere, and she'd be like, "Well, give me $10 and I won't tell." I'm like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? I always want to tell someone, I'm gonna tell mama, you know what I'm saying? That annoying little sister I always want to tell on you. And you got Greg, his white friend, who's at times don't really got his back, you know what I'm saying? Cause he'll freaking haul a tail. The narrator is Chris Rock. Bed-Stuy is actually Bed-Stuy is the I think the whole it's where they live. You got no, I think Risky. No, it's that what's that dude's name that always asking for $1? Talking about cause he called Chris little dude from across the street talking about let me hold $1. I don't know, I can't find his name on here. Oh, whatever, but he's that dude that always asking for money all the time. And you got Kill Moves. He's a homeless guy, but he know karate. Then you got Doc, which that's the store. That's the dude that He works at his store. Then you got Mr. Omar, which is their upstairs neighbor because Julius is like their tenant, and he always kind of like he pays it. Mr. Omar pays his rent to Julius. Mr. Omar, he be having ladies up in there sometimes. Other characters, you got Tanya, because obviously he like Chris like Tanya. Caruso, I hate Caruso, man. I swear he be saying some the things he be saying to Chris. He calls him freaking Sachomo, Kumar, Tonto, Cornbread. Let me say, he says Caruso actually admires Chris, and the only reason he has picked on Chris is because he has been jealous of his determination and achievement, and crushed Chris Chris on to be himself. Not I see. So at the end, Caruso actually respects Chris. That's what about bullies. Bullies always pick on you because they know that you're better than them. So the only way they can do is to crush your spirit. But Caruso, he always catching Chris slipping. It'd be some episode where Chris be standing, he'd be standing up. Caruso come out there and just punch him and be talking about, you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff. Like, man, he catches slipping too many times. I mean, you gotta I think one episode where he bumped into Chris talking about watch where you going, Tonto, and stuff like that. I'm like, Man, cause Greg, you know what I'm saying? Like Chris, I don't think it was a couple times he actually tried to stood up to him. Cause actually one episode, it was this Chinese boy that beat up Caruso in his game, and he was like, and that Chinese boy was like, the bad guy, for everybody to watch out, So Caruso had a black eye. He was like, he didn't, he was like, his spirit was crushed. He wasn't the bully no more until the end of the episode. Because Chris is always getting bullied, getting his money taken away from him. Episodes I remember, and there's a few of them. There's a fair few of them. You got where Chris, when he was younger, he had to babysit. No, his babysitter left her baby with Chris while she go. While she had to go, but she had to go do a whole bunch of stuff. So it's kind of like Chris had, he know how to take care of baby, but because she kept saying that I'll be back in a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? One episode they had to go. Chris had to take Tanya with him to go wash their clothes, and I think he told Tanya to to look out for their clothes, and I think someone stole their clothes, and then he got mad at Tanya, and Tanya was like, she was sad because I think he yelled at her and he was saying whatever he said. I can't remember. And then at the end, it was okay because she always told me I'm gonna tell mom. But I think that episode she didn't really say anything. She didn't tell. One episode that I think they had got robbed, and so they hired a dog to go take care of it. No, they hired a dog, but the dog didn't understand English commands. I don't think so. And then, the dog didn't really do anything. At the end, when they had to let go of the dog, Chris encountered that same dog, talking about, "Hey man, you remember me? You remember me?" And the dog attacked him. Their teacher, I don't know, her teacher I don't know about her teacher, man. Their teacher, because Chris be saying something like, because for some reason their teacher assumes that Chris don't got a father, and just got her, just his mother with him. You know what I'm saying? And Chris be talking about, my dad works 2 jobs. Just right there. Let me mention it. His mother works at a hair salon with her friend, and his dad works 2 jobs. And about that, it was one episode where Chris ate the big chicken, the big piece of chicken, and Julius, because his mom always tells him to leave the big piece of chicken because his dad works 2 jobs and he, to stay so he won't be hungry. And Chris, I think it was like late last night, he ate it, and then his dad was like, "Where the chicken at?" and all that stuff. There it goes. You know what I'm saying? That episode. You know what I'm saying? It was Tanya. It's like here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like before then, he still had a crush on her throughout the whole thing. I know he actually I think got with her, but she started acting kind of crazy, like that crazy girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And I guess he didn't want to be with her, something like that. Tried to break up with her, but then she reversed it and broke up with him, something like that. There was one episode. It was a rumor that it was a rumor going around, and she had a spider in her room and wanted Chris to go kill it. He killed it, and then the dude I was talking about, he always called him little dudes from across the street. I always tell him, "Let me hold $1." He was thinking that him and Tanya did something, so he was telling her about Chris, talking about, "Nah, man, nothing didn't happen." And it got to the point where it got back to her. She's thinking that he lied. She's thinking that Chris told everybody, which that didn't happen. And Chris was like, "Hey y'all, nothing didn't happen. I just did this for her." There you go. There was one episode that Mr. Omar he had left and he needed someone to wash his house for him. So Chris had an idea. Okay, Chris had an idea like, no, my bad. His family was sick, and so he went to he was up in Mr. Omar's apartments, and Mr. Omar wasn't there. And so Chris was thinking about, why not I invite Tanya and just be me and her? It didn't turn out that good because then everybody from the freaking neighborhood was up in there. Because I think I watched a comedy show and he basically wanted a long time, but it didn't work out. Then his mom came up there and caught him. He got in trouble. You got one episode where he was cooking with his boy, and his boy was like androgynous, and they made some brownies, and Chris and this dude gave Chris some weed, and he ended up mixing the weed into the brownies, and then it was like the regular brownies and the weed brownies, and it was like a fire alarm, and Chris he switched the weed brownies with the regular brownies, but then Greg came in and switched the brownies back with the weed brownies. So Chris had the regular brownies, and his teacher and this other weed guy, ate the weed brand and she got high. She was like, singing time. She was singing like, I think I'm going on, I'm moving on. She was freaking high. She was high. You got one episode where what Kill Moves? Yeah, Kill Moves. Where Chris helped him find his mother. His mother is rich, and the first time she saw him like a briefcase full of money, and Kill Moves thought it was just lettuce, so he ate all the money. He never spent it, cause he's homeless, and his mother is rich, and she gave him yet another briefcase full of money, and we opened it. Cause Chris was asking like, what's in the briefcase? He said same thing. Open it, freaking a whole bunch of money in there, and then he said, you want some? I can't eat it all. Chris was like, no thanks, nigga. If old dude, if that was me, and old dude was eating the money, I would have been like, yeah, I'll get some. I would have told him that that's real money, you're not supposed to eat it. But I would have took a couple of stacks and put it in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? But in that kind of situation, his family would have took it from him. But if it was me, and I had a friend who was rich, and he had like a briefcase full of money, and was willing to give me some money, I would have been like, I'm not gonna be that friend that be like always, hey, let me get some money. But if it was like, we cool, and I never knew he was rich or anything like that, and he gave me that money, I would have been like, thanks, man. Let me get a couple stacks out of that. You know what I'm saying? Put it in my pocket, and there we go. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was one episode where Chris encountered, I think the store got robbed, and so Chris he knew the robber, but he didn't want to be called a snitch, so he got old dude that kept calling him, little dude from across the street. He gave that dude the information to then tell the police so they can get that money. But what had happened was they made old dude pick the robber from the lineup. He picked the wrong dude because he never saw him. Chris did, and so old dude went to jail. And then Chris got him out. And then at the end, the police gave Chris the reward money for picking out the robber. And then old dude was like, hey, little dude from across the street, where's my cut? He was talking about, hey man, I can't. My mom took the money. He was like, no dude, my deal was with you, so where's my money? That was it. That was it. I know it was one episode. It was about more money, but I think Chris. It was a Christmas episode, and Chris gave that same dude I think like a freaking envelope, and apparently it was money in there. And Chris and old dude said, you know what? For the spirit of holidays, I'm gonna loan you $1. I'm like, nigga, get that dollar out of my face. Always talking about let me hold $1. Let me hold $1. You know what I'm saying? It's an awesome TV show, but some of that stuff was just crazy, man. But that's the end of the review. I can go on and on about Everybody Hates Chris. I enjoyed it, but let the video, click that like button, leave a comment on what you thought about Everybody Hates Chris, share and subscribe, and catch you guys later. Deuces.